Hey guys, what's up? Gazer here, bringing you with a Senna guide. So, I've been playing Senna for quite some time now with my friend Kaizen. We've played 4 games, but you know, since I'm a YouTuber, I'm going to make a guide about her. So, let's see, and let's get started. Okay, so let's talk about Senna's abilities. Her passive is pretty simple.
That's
You attack
enough.
2 times on the same enemy and you get a stack. This stack grants you AD, range, crit chance, or lifesteal, depending on how many stacks
Small
do you
talk
have.
wasn't really part of my training.
This is what makes Senna very powerful. So always make sure that you collect enough stacks. You can also get this from minions, but you must not last hit the minion because the minion, if you last hit a
Death doesn't
minion,
leave scars.
it has a very low chance of dropping a stack. Okay? So if you're playing AD Senna, it's better to give the last hit to your support so you can get some stacks. Okay, so let's move on. Uh, Her first skill is a this. This is
Lucian
a
thought I was
very
lost,
rangy first skill.
but I was only changed.
This can destroy wards. This can hit traps, and this can also hit the tower. Also, it is not blockable by Yasuo's second skill or wind wall. So there's that. This, let me just add a dummy here. Okay.
The only way out
So
of
this
the mist
damages the
is
enemy
through it.
and this heals your allies. Now, do you remember about that stack that I'm talking about? So, in order to get the stack, you don't need to the damage
leave
doesn't need to
scars.
come from the same source. You can basic attack
Die
and
again.
use an ability, and boom, you got a stack. Not only that, but if you basic attack, your first skill's CD is reduced. So if your
Lucian
first skill
thought
is
I
in
was
cooldown,
lost,
just basic attack
but I was
minions
only
or
changed.
enemy champions.
Death is always in range.
Okay, moving on. So her second skill is a slow moving projectile that if an enemy gets hit, it roots them in place. So this is very hard to hit
Small
considering
talk
that it is
wasn't really
very
part of
slow.
my training.
So it is advisable to use it on minions. And once the minion is about to die or detonate, just basic attack that minion. You know. So because if it dies, the second skill explodes faster. You
Death
can
doesn't
also
leave
do
scars.
a flash second so that it can be surprised, or you can hide in the bush and through your second skill from there, because this second skill is very slow. This is how slow it is. That's easily sidesteppable. It may look
Small
fast at
talk
first,
wasn't
but
really
if you
part of
play
my training.
Senna, that's easily
The dragon has
sidesteppable. Okay?
spawned.
So I advise you to make sure that you throw this on your minions, throw this from bushes, or use flash with it, so you can root enemies
Death
with,
doesn't leave
with a high
scars.
succession rate. Okay, now let's move on.
Changed.
So your third skill camouflages your allies.
Death is always
So here it is. It gives you movement speed in your allies, and if they get out of your range, they turn to wraiths. And when they turn to wraiths, they basically look like the same, and
Small
you
talk
cannot
wasn't
tell them
really part of my
apart from
training.
other heroes. So if you want to confuse the enemy, let's say you wanted to hide your tank, and you want to get your tank close enough so that he can set, you can use your third skill, so that he or she can be camouflage. It also gives you movement speed and your allies as well. So it's also good to use if you're getting into lane to get into lane faster. Okay? So
Death doesn't leave
the last
scars.
and final, her ulti. Her ulti is a very wide global ult. In the middle, if you hit an enemy with it, it deals damage.
Has spawned.
Just for clarification, this only the middle does damage. The sides doesn't. Look at that. It doesn't deal damage in the sides. Always hit with the middle. This gives your ally shield, and this is also a very powerful tool to turn team fights around. So for example, if they're taking Dragon or Baron, or maybe even this Scuttle, Rift Herald, you can use this and you can give your allies shield, and you can also damage the enemy. Now moving on. let's move on to the runes and builds. So for the runes, always grab Grass of Undying because it heals you and it makes you tankier. If you're going for AD, maybe go for Gathering Storm, but if you don't want that, you can go for Brutal. If you're maybe going for AD and you're going for full attack damage and one hit kills, you can go for Hunter Titan, so each takedown can grant you health. Always make sure to grab Mana Flow Ban because you're quite useless if you've run out of mana, and Senna runs out of mana pretty quick. Okay, now for Senna, I got 3 builds: AD, Support, and Tank. Okay, so for AD, you wanna grab Manamune. This is very important for every type of build because it grants you more mana and it makes your attack hurt more, you know. So if you're going for, let's say, maybe a AD Senna, you can go for Yoshima's Ghost Blade for mobility, maybe Black Cleaver if you want, some Dust Blade of Drakkar if you want to ambush, Mortal Reminder, or maybe Death Dance, maybe even Phantom Dancer if you would like it. But if you're going for support build, I advise you to grab some support items, of course. You can grab Protector's Bow, Azi Convergence. You can grab whatever boots do you want for each build because if they got a Sed and you grab Shield, then you're dead, obviously. So it is very situational on which boots do you grab. But I advise that if they got one-shot heroes, grab Stasis. If you are good at positioning, grab Team Shield. Sorry. If you're bad at positioning and they got a lot of crowd controls, grab this ring. Okay? You can grab Heal as well or maybe Shadow Enchant. I don't recommend Teleport or Gargoyle Enchant, but if you want to experiment, then so be it. For upgraded boots, grab maybe this Gluttonous Greaves if you're going for Vampirism. Maybe grab a cooldown Ionian boots, but I always grab boots of swiftness so I can be fast. Okay? Now, on to my favorite build, the Tank build Senna. This build requires on you having a lot of stacks so that you can hurt and you can be deadly. Not only are you deadly and hurtful, you are also tough. So after Manamune, grab Iceborne Gauntlet so that you can slow. Don't grab Frozen Mallet because this one, because Senna is range, the Frozen Mallet slow the Frozen Mallet gives her 20% slow instead of 40%. Because if you're a range hero, the passive that this Frozen Mallet gives you is half. Like the slow is half. Like instead of 40%, it will be 20%. So I advise you to do not grab this. It's a waste of time and waste of money. It's better to grab Iceborne Gauntlet and maybe some whatever boots do you want. Maybe some Deadman's Plate. The Deadman's Plate is important so you can be fast and deadly. Now, you want to also grab Guardian Angel. And if they're going for full AD, you can grab Frozen Hall. If they got some AP composition, then just grab Spirit Visage and grab some Spirit Visage and probably some Force of Nature to replace the Deadman's Plate. So, there's that. This is the 3 builds that I recommend. Support, tanky build, and AD build. Now that we've talked about runes, builds, skills, and everything in between that, let's talk about some general advices and some tips and tricks, okay? First off, if you want to go for a very deadly combo with Senna, use Corki and Senna. Their high range makes them very deadly. Also, the heal from Senna can keep Corki alive, okay? So I advise you to use the composition if you got a duo, but if you don't have a duo, then just use whatever you want. Okay? So, and another advice, always make sure that your AD carry, or maybe your support if you're going for AD Senna, always grabs or always gets the last hit. Because the chance of getting a stack if you last hit a minion is very low. Okay? So always make sure that your support or your AD carry grabs the last hit. Okay? Okay? Also, another tip, prioritize getting as much stacks as possible. The late game damage from those stacks are insane. Okay? They are insane. If you got into 18 minutes and you maybe got like 80 stacks, that gives you like 60% crit
Saan
chance.
pupunta?
That's very big deal. Come on. Okay? So make sure to always grab the stacks no matter what you are doing, no matter where you are. I mean, don't grab the stacks if you're obviously going to die grabbing the stacks, you know. But you know, just keep that in mind. Now, if you're asking me, what counters Senna? Well, any burst assassins will do, but if that Senna is protected by a tank, then yeah, that's going to be a problem. If you are against a Senna, always prioritize that Senna. Always punish that Senna if she's getting stacks. Because you know, the stacks are very, very good. Always also remember that her ulti can turn around team fights, okay?
The only way out.
I mean, that shield may be low, but who knows? Only a couple of shields is only it needs to actually turn a fight, you know? So, always keep in mind her ulti when grabbing objectives, and also her ability to scale late game. Always punish Senna if she's grabbing stacks, and always remember that her ulti is very deadly when you strike against in team fights. Okay? And with that out of the way, here is some Senna gameplay just for you.
Bakit na yun? Naabot ng ulti.
Mag-retreat ka na ako na mag-clear.
I can do the hard way.
Kaya lang may shield. Sana all may shield. Akin wala pa siya.
I forgive. No one else has to.
Hindi ka niya mahal. Ito lang.
Enemy turret destroyed.
Lucian thought I was lost.
Pag lobas ka, rate ka naman eh.
Ano, bisa na rotate. Oh. Kaya ka dyan. Kaya mo yan.
No one else has to.
Double kill. Dominating.
Visit.
Shut down. Enemy turret destroyed.
Small talk wasn't really part of my training.
Ano na stocks mo? Ay, namatay. Namatay. Oh.
Rampage.
Small talk wasn't really part of my training.
Ally slain.
Ako kalaban. May kalaban pang 30.
You are unstoppable.
Wow! Wow! Support ako. Support na pala akong...
I can do the hard way.
Enemy turret destroyed. Top turret is under attack.
Eh, mong asig. Tukot si asig. Ayan. Ito pa yung game mo.
It's always in you. I forgive. No one else has to.
The dragon has
Grabe
fallen.
yung Chris ko. Backbit Senna. Pagkatas ng Dead Man's Peak, ano mag-PC. Lagyan mo na lang ng PC ka. Ano, lapit? Huwag lang lumapit sa akin. Huwag ka lumapit! Diba? Nasalain mo ako eh. Wow. Di nga po. Tuyo. Tapos tayo pagkatas nito. Hindi lang gamitin kong build. Kaya na ang range ng ulti ko. Tuloy niyan. Ito, rotate. Ay, ito, nangatay oh.
Slain an enemy. Enemy turret destroyed. You are on a killing spree.
Basic attack lang sakit nyo.
Rampage.
Wow! Bigay mo na sa akin yan. Basic attack lang. Basic attack.
Ally slain. You are unstoppable. Enemy double kill.
Ouch.
Enemy slain. Ally slain.
May mushroom.
Triple kill. Enemy killing spree. Killing spree.
Sabi yan. One hit. No, mali!
Slain an enemy. Enemy retreat.
Out of haste.
Triple kill. Enemy killing spree.
Nangyari sa mga to.
Ally slain.
Mali. Sumama ka sa akin.
Pumunta nga ako sa...
Is under attack.
I forgive. No one else has to.
Retreat, retreat. Dragon has spawned.
Get in line.
Naka-respawn ko lang, buo na kagat.
Bottom turret is under attack.
No one else has to.
Enemy slain. Double kill. Enemy slain. Enemy slain. First turret destroyed. On my way. On my way.
Die again? I'll pass.
On my way. On my way.
The only way out of
Enemy slain. Shut down. On my way. Middle turret is under attack. Lost. On my way. Slain an enemy. Enemy slain. Bottom turret is under attack.
Ano pala
Enemy
minion?
slain.
I can do the hard way.
Turret lost. Killing spree. You are on the killing spree. Enemy turret destroyed. Ace. Enemy turret destroyed. Slain. Bottom turret. Retreat, retreat. Retreat, retreat. Bottom turret is under attack. On my way. Unstoppable.
Small talk wasn't really part of my training. Die again? I'll pass.
Maganda rin
The
yung
only way out of the mist is through.
close of range.
Slain. On my way.
Wanna kill me? Get in line.
Unstoppable. Shut down. Enemy turret destroyed. Engage. Turret destroyed. You have slain an enemy.
Huwag wiki, huwag wiki.